Alright. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's see. We'll change out the music here. This is just a little too much chanting. A little too much chanting. Here we go. Aw. How nice and chill and relaxed. Alright. It is 7:09 p.m. on the first day of the year, and we're going to prep some Odyssey of the Dragonlords, Mythic Odysseys. This is my second Odyssey campaign. The first one is Odyssey of the Dragonlords Prime. It takes place on Monday nights. They have completed the main quest in that one and are in the high-level post-game content. This campaign is a little different. It has extra stuff added in. Lots of extra stuff added in. A lot more lore, a lot more world building, a lot more religion, a lot more to explore. And it's just got a very different group with a very different focus on what they're after. And we use lots of different rules than my other group, including active initiative and a lot of other stuff. So they are finishing up their business here in Themis, the homeland of the Amazons. And one of the locations that they have to go to next is the Isle of Yonder, which is a huge military outpost. And so basically, I'm going to need a shitload of people for them to fight. Hold on. I'm having to break Dom's heart. Dom plays in this game, but he also wants to see it. I will. Alright, so what we need to do now is we need to go and get some minions built, essentially. If we build these minions quickly enough, I've set aside 40 minutes for prep tonight. If we get the minions done quickly, we can look at piety, because we do need to get the piety updated. It's been a hot minute since we updated the piety. So, we have Flee Mortals, the MCDM monster book. This is a Kickstarter that Matt Colville and friends are working on. This is the free preview. You can pick it up for free yourself. Go on to the internet and find it. And there are some really great minion rules in here. What I love about MCDM's design style is that it feels like they know the best parts of each generation of Dungeons & Dragons. So you will often get 2nd edition flavor mixed in with some 3rd edition mechanics, piled onto some 4th edition building ideas, and then given a coat of 5th edition paint so that the kids will actually eat it. So yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at here. And I've been following this project, not super closely, but as much as my time would allow. And I'm very happy with what I've seen so far. It's very much like if Giphy Glyphs had more money. It kind of has that feeling to it. So, anywho, there's a video out there that explains the whole process of turning a complicated monster into a minion. And then there is an example of a minion in this dungeon here with the not the dungeon, the book, Goblin Minion. And I've watched the video twice. I've read the book. I've talked about the book with Dom. I've made minions many times. I played a lot of 4th edition. I DM'd a lot of 4th edition. I'm pretty confident that we can make this work. So, what we're gonna do is we'll head over to the Isle of Yonder, and let's go to the Yonder military base. Oh, this is the Yonder military camp. It could probably work just as well, I guess. Let's see. Where's the actual military? Ah, the Yonder fort. Here we go. I mean, we need minions everywhere, but this will kind of give us an idea of what sort of minions we need. Now, obviously, the first one that comes to mind is the Sidonite. Alright, so when we first started this campaign, we were deep in the Giphy Glyphs way of life. And so we had all that Giphy Glyphs all the time, and it was good. It was good times. Now, I think that these guys might be left over from that day and age. Yeah, you can see that they have a static damage of 2, and they only have a +3, but they have a shitload of hit points. So that's kind of the opposite of what we want from these minions, right? We don't want them to be high HP, high armor class, and then hard, and then basically not doing anything, right? We want them to have an impact on the battlefield. All right, so let's go ahead and let's just drop the Sidonite altogether. Let me look if we have any variations on the Sidonite. We have a Sidonite Hoplite, and then we have a Sidonite GG Soldier, which is what we're just looking at. Let's take a look at the Sidonite Hoplite and see what we're dealing with. This is a significantly stronger opponent. It comes in at a CR3, which is probably not accurate. It has a 20 armor class. It has 52 hit points. It is brave, meaning it has advantage on saving throws against being frightened. It can hold the line while it is holding a spear. Other creatures provoke an opportunity attack when they move within 5 feet of it. When the Hoplite hits a creature with an opportunity attack, the creature takes an extra 1d8 piercing damage, and their speed becomes 0 for the rest of the turn. So this is just a bunch of dudes who have... I forget what it's called. The feat where you stop people when they come into your range, essentially. They have javelins. They can do a shield bash. They have a spear attack. They can detect as a bonus action, which is pretty cool. They have a multi-attack, which allows them to make 3 melee attacks or 2 ranged attacks. And then, let's see. They're wearing breastplate and armor, and they have training in athletics and intimidation. Okay. Seems pretty good. So, what we're going to do then is, according to this this guide from MCDM, I have to look at this this character, this monster, and I have to figure out what defines this monster, and then what sort of function I want this monster to do when it's in play. So if we look at the Goblin example, the Goblin has 6 hit points and a decent armor class. It's got its, normal stat blocks there. It's got dark vision, languages, proficiency bonus, sure. We get down to Crafty. The minion doesn't provoke opportunity attacks when they move out of an enemy's reach. Well, that's pretty handy, and that sort of represents the 5th edition Goblin ability to disengage or hide as a bonus action. But instead of having to take a bonus action and keep track of all that shit, they just say, you don't provoke opportunity attacks. He's a minion, so if a minion takes damage from an attack or as a result of a failed saving throw, their hit points are reduced to 0. If the minion takes damage from another effect, they die if the damage equals or exceeds their hit point maximum. Otherwise, they take no damage. And then finally, we go here to Tiny Stabs. If a visible enemy starts their turn within 5 feet of 3 or more goblin minions, the enemy must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or take 1 piercing damage for each goblin minion within 5 feet. The DC for the saving throw equals 10 plus the number of goblin minions within 5 feet of the enemy. So a minimum of 13 and a maximum, I suppose, unless they're flying or riding on each other's shoulders like Chult goblins, you're looking at a DC 18 at the highest. They have a single action that they can perform, which is called Dagger. Now, the Dagger is interesting because it can be ranged or it can be melee. So we may want to keep that in mind when we're designing this Sidonite, right? Okay. So let's look here. We're going to duplicate the Sidonite. There we go. And we're going to keep the GG Soldier open just for sort of a reference. And we're going to open the copy here. And right away, we're going to change the cool art for the actual hoplite out. And we're going to go ahead and put the side knight back in. Alright, so we are going to call this a loyal side knight. And then we're going to put loyal side knight minion. So there's no question that this is a minion, right? We're putting it out there. This is a loyal side knight minion. The end. So we have that taken care of. I think we could keep the CR because they are going to be like level 8 or 9 by the time they go here. We're going to go here and change this name out. There we go. To side knight minion. Alright, we're going to go here and change out the art. This has nothing to do with building, but, you know, it's Foundry stuff, so that's fine. We definitely want these guys to bleed everywhere, so we might as well make sure that they've got their blood set up. And I think that's good. Now, as far as hit points go, the average hit points here are 4d8 plus 8, so that would be, what, 5, 10, 15, 20. So the average hit points here would be 28. Let's go ahead and set these dudes up to have an armor class, or not an armor class, but a hit point total of 21. Or no, 20. That'd be even easier to manage. Alright, so what that means is that if a spell or effect or a damaged thing that's not an actual attack does damage to them, that damage has to be 20 or more or they don't die. So by having 20 hit points, that means that these guys could survive a spike growth, for example. They could move through a spike growth without dying. And we could argue that that is because they're well armored and they have shields, whatever bullshit we need to say, okay? So I like it. That works pretty good. Hold on. There's too much singing in the background. I gotta change the music again. I'm really not in the mood for any kind of singing in the background. Let's just go with Skyrim music. No one's allowed to sing in the Skyrim music. Alright. So now we look at the armor class. I think 20 is too high for minions, even though these are tanky-ass minions. I think 16 is pretty reasonable. We're going to just cut the difference here. And let's see. They're wearing a breastplate and they have a shield. Would that really make their armor class that high? No. Oh, they get to add their dexterity to it as well. Okay. So we will lower their dexterity then to 12. That should lower their armor class accordingly. Damn, what kind of AC are you rocking here? Oh, I have it set as natural. There we go. Change it to equipped armor. There we go. So now they got a nice 17 armor class. That's pretty good for the minions that we're trying to build here. All right. 20 hit points, 17 armor class. Speed can stay the same. That's fine. I think the strength can definitely stay the same. Constitution's fine. Wisdom's cool. Charisma's good. I like it. All right. So down here, is there anything that's cool about these guys that we might want to keep? So they have this ability called Martial Advantage. And it's very similar to what Hobgoblins have, in so much as if there are a lot of them, it can add bonuses. So what we're going to do is sort of like Goblin minions have tiny stabs. We are going to go ahead and add an action here. And we're going to call that action... here we go. We're going to go ahead and call this action Martial Advantage. Alright, so what happens here is... whenever a creature takes damage, it takes 1 additional damage for each side knight minion within 5 feet of it. Alright. Takes 1 additional damage for each Side Knight minion. So say 1 additional, we'll do piercing damage. Piercing damage for each Side Knight within Side Knights who are unconscious or incapacitated. Are unable to provide this benefit. Alright, so Side Knight minions, there we go. Who are unconscious or incapacitated or unable. Alright, beautiful. So now we have these guys in place that if they are near you, the more of them that are near you, the more damage every single hit is going to cause, which is great. Alright, so that's their martial advantage. I love it. Detect as a bonus action. So minions don't have bonus actions, so we're going to get rid of that. Multi-attack, we don't want the minions to have multi-attack, so we're going to get rid of that. And then let's see what else we got. They have a spear. Alright, so I don't want to, excuse my language, I don't want to fuck around with whether they're wielding their shield, whether they have their spear, one-handed, two-handed, all that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to give them a javelin, and then the javelin will just count for the spear and everything else. So I'm going to get rid of all of this, and we're just going to go with javelin, and we will just assume that they have enough javelins to throw javelins if they need to, or stab with them if they need to. So we'll go ahead and give them 5 javelins, which, if they live long enough to use all 5 javelins, incredible. Alright, we need to give them this minion trait. So I'm going to grab this information. We're going to go over here, and we're going to add a new feature. And we're going to put minion. And then I think we have a graphic to use for that. Let me see. Is there a minion here? Maybe it's under UI icon. There we go. Minion. Alright. And then this is minion, and we'll put MCDM, because I'm sure in our compendium somewhere we have other minion stuff. And then we'll paste that in. We'll do a quick format. Alright, beautiful. Okay, so that's good. Then we've got this hold the line ability. While they're holding a spear, other creatures provoke opportunity attacks from them when they move within 5 feet of it. So I think that's pretty cool, and it definitely sets up a situation where you're going to be like careful, like moving around the battlefield, because you don't want to deal with that. And then Brave, I think that they can keep that advantage on saving throws against being frightened, because they are, you know, brave soldiers in the service of the god of strength and all that jazz. So yeah, let's go ahead and leave that stuff in there. And they will lose their shield bash, because again, we want to keep this guy, this minion, as simple as possible. Alright, so I think we have successfully built our first minion. Now, the idea is that we should feel confident throwing a ton of these guys at the party. Now, our party, they don't have the huge damage dealers that the Odyssey Prime group has. They don't really have too many big spellcasters either. So, minions are going to be tricky for them, for sure. So let's go down and look at more about minions and see what else we could kind of learn from this document. Alright. Minions, minions, minions. Okay. Minions are weak foes that allow the GM to create dynamic combat encounters with hordes of enemies without overwhelming the characters. In fact, an encounter with minions makes characters feel heroic, since they can take on a myriad of foes and live to tell the tale. However, minions still make threatening foes. Killing a minion still requires penetrating their defenses, and characters can't just shrug off damage from minion attacks. How do minions make running a horde of enemies quick and easy? Minions are simple to run, their stat blocks are small and uncomplicated. I tried. Minions act quickly. They don't have multi-attack. They don't roll for damage. Ah! Alright, so let's go to their Javelin attack. And we will reduce the Javelin to its simplest terms. So they have a strength modifier of +3. It rolls a d6. That means that it is always going to do 6 points of piercing damage. They will never be able to critically hit because they don't have any damage dice. And that's part of what makes minions easier to handle. Alright, so that's taken care of. Good reminder there. Alright, what else we got? Minions die fast. Characters can kill several minions with a single weapon attack. Well, maybe. Julian has a gun that does about 25 damage per hit. Andronikos hits for about 15. He can do more with a smite. So there is a chance that they're going to do like more damage to these guys. We could lower that HP to like 15. The thing that I worry about here is that they do have access to like Wall of Fire, which will kill a ton of these dudes, Spike Growth, things like that. So let's pull up Spike Growth real quick. Alright. Basically, I want them to have enough hit points to survive Spike Growth. Spike Growth is 2d4 damage, so they will definitely survive that. They have more than 8 hit points. Wall of Fire, though, they shouldn't survive because they're little mooks. So let's see. The average damage on a Wall of Fire, 5d8. You assume that the average on a d8 is 5, so 5 times 5 is 25. So these guys would not survive a Wall of Fire hit. Okay. Yeah, so 20 hit points sounds about right. We could make it a little bit lower. I think that their damage threshold is closer to 15 damage. And if they want to feel like champions, then we probably want to lower that to 15. They do have a decent armor class here, though this group is pretty well built, and I think that the characters will be fine. As far as like being hit by these guys, the armor class on this party is absolutely bananas. These guys coming in with only a +5 to hit, they're probably not going to land any of these hits. If they do, it'll be 6 damage plus 1 more damage for every Sidonite that is adjacent to them. That also means that their bare minimum damage is 7 instead of 6 because there are technically, you know, themselves. So we might want to modify Martial Advantage to say whenever a creature takes damage, it takes 1 additional piercing damage for each Sidonite within 5 feet of it, as long as there are 2 or more. As long as there are 2 or more Sidonite minions. There we go. Sidonite minions who are unconscious or incapacitated, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So that works pretty good. So we're just kind of thinking through how would this minion work, what we would do with it. So I also want to look at Hold the Line again. While the hoplite is holding a spear, other creatures provoke opportunity attacks from the hoplite when they move within 5 feet of it. So we're just going to get rid of this other part and put other creatures provoke an opportunity from the Sidonite minion when they move within 5 feet of it. When the Sidonite minion, here we go, hits a creature with an opportunity attack using, nope, just say opportunity attack, comma, the creature's speed, there we go, becomes 0 for the rest of the turn. That's all we need it to do. Alright. And then we will make this a reaction. Alright. Cool. I'm pleased with this. I think this minion's looking pretty slick. Alright. Minions have strength in numbers. Their attacks can be grouped together to make them deadlier and faster to use at the table. They don't have any hit dice, so they just have static hit points. They don't have damage rolls, which we already took care of. They can share turns. All minions of the same stat block act on the same turn. Since they share a turn, the minions can each move into position, then each use the action if they wish, instead of each moving and taking action individually. So what we might want to do for these guys is once we have the stat block finalized, we may want to make like a Sidonite minion blue and a Sidonite minion red, because with the way we run initiative, if like all of these guys got to act at once, and there was enough of them, they could easily overwhelm and mess up the party, which is part of what they're supposed to do. But if we really wanted to field a lot of them, it might be good to have like red ones and blue ones that are very quick to see, like when you look down at the battlefield, and then all of the blue ones get to go on one initiative, all the red ones get to go on one initiative. You can also use different tools in your VTT to mark the color of them. If you're playing IRL, start collecting soda bottle rings. The different colored soda bottle rings are a great way to mark miniatures, so that you kind of know what they are and what's going on with them. Let's see. Minion trait, which we already added there. Overkill attacks. Powerful weapon attacks can kill more than one minion in a single maneuver, called an overkill attack. Alright, so I'm going to actually put a feature here that will, be a minion thing. We're going to call it Minion Overkill. And I'm just going to retype all of the information here, so that I don't have to pull up this book every time I need it. Minions supposed to be within a certain range to qualify to determine whether attack or melee attacks, and ranged attacks. So I understand this, and I certainly don't need the examples there. So I'm just going to take this core bit up here. All right. Go. Paste that in. And let's see. We do need to do a quick formatting here. Let's see. There we go. I think we're doing pretty good on time. Let me check the clock. Yeah, we got like 15 more minutes. We're doing good. I figured since this is the first minion I'm building with MCDM's rules, it might take a little while because I want to kind of talk through the process. We're going to be making more minions, a lot more minions, for Red Hand of Doom. So we'll be doing this again Saturday morning as we work on even more minions. But this is the first one that we're doing, and it's a good one, I think. So then we have group attacks. Each minion has a group attack action that speeds up gameplay. In a group attack, 2 to 5 minions of the same stat block that share a turn can all use their action to take the same action and attack one target, provided the target is within the attack's reach or range for each minion. Make a single attack roll for the group. It counts as one attack. You know what? We could probably add the Shield Bash back in for these guys if we wanted to. And here's what I'm thinking. With the Shield Bash, we could make the DC equal to the number of Sidonites, right? So we will put a creature within 5 feet must make a strength saving throw or become prone. The saving throw DC is equal to, let's see, they've got 8 plus the proficiency would be 10 plus their strength would be 3, so 13. We're going to minus 1 to put it at 12. 12 plus the number of Sidonite minions adjacent to the targeted creature. Period. There we go. Alright. If the group attack hits, multiply the damage by the number of minions that made the group attack. For example, if 4 goblin minions hit with a group attack, that deals 1 damage. Their group attack deals 4 damage. So this is like where it starts to get real crazy, right? So you're making a single attack for the group. So let's say 5 Side Knight minions attacked 1 character. They get a +1 bonus to the attack roll for every minion in the attack. So that includes, you know, the first minion. So that's a +5. So now their javelin attack is not a +5, it's a +10. Okay? Now a +10 is a lot more likely to hit. That's why they're minions and they're working together. So that is all 5 of them are going to be using their action to do this. And then here's where it gets crazy. A group attack deals +1 bonus to the attack roll for every minion in the attack. Okay, if the attack hits, multiply the damage by the number of minions that made the group attack. So instead of them dealing 6 damage with a hit, they just dealt 30 damage with a hit because there's 5 of them. So it can be real crazy. And if there's enough of them surrounding the target, 2 of them could try to push a character down. 3 of them could try to push a character down if 8 of them are surrounding a character, and then the remaining 5 could all try to stab the person that just got knocked on the ground, assuming they didn't make 3 strength saves, all of which would be at a DC of 12, was it 20? So the idea is if you get mobbed by these guys, they will really mess you up. But individually, they got 15 hit points, and they only deal 6 damage, and they can't score critical hits. They only have a +5 to their attack roll. So they kind of suck all by themselves, but together, they start to become very, very strong. I like it. I don't know if we should lower the damage, if maybe 6 damage is too much. Maybe we should lower it to 5 damage. I like the idea, though, that these guys could kill a person, like a commoner, but a commoner only has 4 HP on average. So let's go ahead and we'll change the javelin damage to 5. There we go. So at most, in a group attack, they can deal 25 damage, which seems like a lot of damage, but against higher level people, 25 damage is not terrible. You certainly don't want them to gang up on the wizard, but the wizard should probably not be in a situation like that. So overall, pretty excited about how this is going to work out. I am going to go ahead and make a group attack action, just so that we remember that they have such an ability. So we're going to go here, and we're going to put minion, and we're going to group attack. Alright, and then we'll post all of this stuff in here, just to kind of remind us of what's going on. And that's going to require some formatting. Now the good thing is, now that we have these in Foundry, we can just sort of drag and drop and use them as a template to build out all the other minions that we make in the future. So pretty happy about that. I'm considering in Curse of Strahd having some zombie minions, maybe having some skeleton minions. So we will revisit those stat blocks in Curse of Strahd eventually and kind of work on some minions for that. The idea being that, I'm putting minions in Mythic. Yep. The idea being that as they get higher in level, kind of introducing minions will help them feel strong. I don't want the characters in Curse of Strahd to feel strong for a while, so we're not going to use minions for a while, but eventually we will introduce minions to kind of give them that feeling that, like, hey, it's getting easier. Alright, the last things to remember about these characters, or these minions. Advantage and disadvantage. A group attack is only made with advantage or disadvantage if all the minions making the attack have advantage or disadvantage on the roll. Otherwise, they balance each other out. Target response effects. If a group attack triggers a reaction or similar effect that would normally affect a single attacker, such as the Fire Shield or Hellish Rebuke, the target of the group attack picks one minion that was part of the attack to be affected by the effect. Group opportunity attacks. If a creature provokes an opportunity attack from more than one minion of the same stat block at a time, and those minions have a melee group attack action, the minions can use their reaction to make a group attack as an opportunity attack, which works really good for these Side Knight minions. Also, you can do group saving throws in bunches of 5. and overall, I think it's pretty good. Okay. So yeah, there we go. We have made a minion, and I am happy. So let's go ahead and add this minion symbol to all the minion abilities. Just a little bit of cleanup here. And I'll go ahead and export this and post it into my Discord, so anybody that is on my Discord, Patreon channels, or whatever, they can have access to this if they would like. So, let's see. Put that in there. Alright. And then we've got hold the line here. I guess we'll just give it a... I'm just going to give him a bunch of different shields. Yeah, that sounds right. Alright, so we'll have this shield. And then for martial advantage, we'll go ahead and grab a spear. Let's see, weapons. Polearm. There we go. Spear. Seems good. And then finally for brave, we'll go here and give them a heart. Yeah, that sounds good. Alright. Yeah. There we go. This big heart right here. Cool. Alright. So they're good to go. Lock that down. And go over here. And we'll export it. And throw it up onto the Discord. Oh. 15 minutes till game time. Alright, and then let's see, throw this up. Nice. Okay. Yeah. Well, they have actual swarms of undead as a stat block, but I think that these are better than using swarms in almost every way. They take a little bit more thought to like set up, but overall it's pretty good. Okay, so we got about 5 or 6 minutes. We can look at the piety, which we haven't visited in a hot minute. Alright, so Mythic piety, the document. Alright. Oh, gee. I'll zoom in here. Okay. So, Orin's replacement character, Nim, cannot gain piety, so we don't need to worry about that. So let's take a look. Andronikos, has he been impressing Kyra? He sure has, so we'll pump that up to 40. Has he been impressing Valis? I mean, he's actually been doing a lot better than normal, so we'll definitely pump that up to 50. Has he been impressing Mitros? I guess. Has he been impressing Pythor? Yeah. Has he been impressing Vulcan? Meh, it's alright. Alright. Has he been impressing Sidon? Honestly, he kinda has. He kinda has. His Fire Island shenanigans were pretty hype. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually give him some Sidon. And he also hates Julian, so that helps too. But they don't actually remember him. That's right. So never mind. Let's see. Thylea. Has he been impressing Thylea? Sure. Did he impress Kentamane lately? Nah, not really. Versi tolerates him. The Fates don't care about him. Helios doesn't pay attention to him. I think Narcissus likes him quite a bit. So we'll go ahead and put Narcissus at 40. There we go. And that's good. Alright, Julian and Kyra. How's Kyra feeling about Julian? Kyra, how's he feeling? How are you feeling about Julian? Julian's a hot mess, honestly. I'm going to say that she is not overly impressed. He got no gains with Kyra. He is very reckless. I'm going to say no gains with Valis either. This is unfortunate for Julian because Kyra is his patron, and she's just not really into what he's doing. Pythor likes the cut of his jib, his womanizing, his alcoholism, his big brass balls. So he's definitely impressed Pythor. Vulcan likes him because he's practicing artifice. Let's see. Sidon really doesn't like him, but he did do a sacrifice to Sidon, which kind of quelled Sidon's anger a little bit. We'll put him down to a negative 25. Lutheria really likes them big brass balls that Julian's carrying around, so she's up to 30. She's really into him. Thylea doesn't give a shit about him. Kentamane doesn't care. Versi, she likes the occasional Julian lovin'. Fates don't care about him right now. Helios doesn't care about him. Narcissus, they're kind of like, Julian's alright, I guess. Here we go. Alright, heading over to Maya. Kyra loved Maya, so there we go. Go up to 40. Valis loves Maya. So wise, so brave. Mitros, yeah, hell yeah. She's trying to save her city. That's good stuff. Boom. Pythor, Maya did a one-on-one fight. It was badass, and he got to participate. 50. Vulcan and Maya, meh, you know, it's whatevs. Sidon, couldn't care less. Lutheria really hates Maya. So, but she kind of manipulated Maya in this recent arc by taking down the Amazons and putting things into disarray. So we'll go ahead and just make it negative 20. There we go. Thylea love Maya. Maya doing a great job. Up to 60. Maybe even 75. Let's see. What is the next big jump for this shit? How does this work in play? Tracking piety, boons, examples. What are the numbers here? All right, piety 3, piety 25, piety 50. Oh, once they're at 50, they're maxed out anyways. Okay. That's cool. So, yeah, sure. She's up to like 60 with Thylea. Kentamane, he doesn't care. Versi doesn't care. Fates don't care. Narcissus thinks Maya's great. Alright. Orin, he's doing that champion work down there. He is losing faction with everybody else. Well, I guess he's just not gaining faction with everybody else. Well, no, Vulcan suspects. He doesn't. He's not so sure. So we're gonna have Vulcan drop down to 20. Mitros gonna drop down to 10. Valis, I mean, she's a cold fish. She's gonna drop down to 15. Kyra's gonna hold on. She believes in Orin. Goes up a little bit. Sidon really doesn't like that this dude is working for his sister wife, so we're gonna drop it down to negative 30. Let's see. Thylea doesn't care. Kentamane doesn't care. Narcissus. Ooh. Alexa, stop the timer. Narcissus probably can't. I don't know. We'll just drop it to a 0. Alright. And then Sibo. Sibo and Kyra, best buds. So kicking that up to 50. Valis and Sibo, meh. Mitros and Sibo, meh. Let's see. Pythor and Sibo. Sibo got them chops. He got that anime protagonist harem. Pythor say good stuff. Vulcan and Sibo. He thinks Sibo a little weird, so doesn't go up any. Sidon and Sibo. I think Sidon has forgotten about Sibo in the face of how annoying everybody else is. So we'll go back to 0 on that. Lutheria thinks that Sibo's got potential. Gonna kick that up to a 15. Thylea and Kentamane remain the same. Versi, loving that sweet boy, put him up to 70. The Fates don't like what he's doing with Versi, negative 25. Narcissus thinks Sibo pretty cool. And there we go. That is our update on piety. Okay. So I'm going to go grab something to drink and maybe like some migraine medicine. And then I'll be back in 8 minutes to run Odyssey of the Dragonlords Mythic Odysseys. So feel free to watch on Major Snood's channel. Otherwise, the VOD will be out this week. And things that are coming up this week, we got Odyssey Prime tomorrow night, we got Monster Hunter Wednesday, we've got Curse of Strahd Nightfall on Thursday, Orpheus is running Rime of the Frost Maiden on Fridays, we got Red Hand of Doom Saturday morning, we've got Curse of Strahd Daybreak Sunday morning, and then next Sunday we'll be back here running more Mythic Odyssey. I hope everybody has a great week and a happy new year, and I'll see you next time.